Hello, my friends. Glad to be back. I have a little fair coming up in 2 weeks' time, and I'm starting off by making some little treasures for my lucky dip. I only charge £1 per go, but I still like the little treasures in there to be really delightful. So I started off with making these little felted bees by just making these little maggots and then covering them with black merino, just leaving one side white for the little bumblebee butt and covering the rest with the black. I decided to cover the whole thing, and then I just tied off the front part with my nice black wax cotton thread, and 2 birds with 1 stone, tied off the head and cut the rest of the thread to be the feelers. That worked out quite well. Then it's time to cover with some nice colors, usually yellow and orange. There we go, little bee getting dressed. Dum, dum, dum. Felt that on. Nice little fat bumblebee. So she just needs some wings. And for that I just used a little sliver of white wool and folded it into a sort of figure of 8 shape, and felted it down a bit and just attached it on the top like so. And then I put some little hangers on it so you can hang them up somewhere, and fairly swiftly I got quite a little collection together of these. They are really good value for £1, so I always try and mix it up. So there's some things that are really quick and easy to make, and some that are a bit more fiddly, and it kind of evens itself out. So these are my little spiders. I really like them. They're quite funky and different. And I think I need to make some more of those because I only got 5 or so. And just a handful. See if I find more of these little covering beads there that I use for the eyes. They're really nice for that. And then I decided to make some lacewing flies because I wanted to use more of this plastic that I recycled to make wings out of. And lacewing fly wings, they look a bit different from dragonfly wings. They have a slightly different structure. So I got into making those. And I made a whole bunch of these little nests because I had loads of those clay eggs left that I made for the blue tits. They were quite easy to make. And then I wanted to make some little moss. I had this little bunny that I felted before Easter and never finished, so I cut it up into little moss bodies and just went with a nice dark red and a grey that I had lying around next to me, literally, and cut out a simple little moss shape. There are the lacewing flies. Again, just felted a really simple body, cut out those wings from recycled plastic lids, found some nice beads to stick on for eyes, put a hanger on, and there we have it. I mixed a bit of blue in with the green for the body, just to give it a little flash of colour. So that was those. Then I assembled those moss with a bit of glue. I was going to make them as bookmarks like that, but it was too flexible with the thing. I didn't have the right glue. So in the end I made them as little brooches, which is also nice. And just put a bit of white on there, just for contrast. And again, little feelers from the black cotton. Then that's just a few strands of merino plaited into like a little dragonfly. And I used the softer plastic to make the wings for these, which is quite nice. Gives it a different feel. Then I made my little chickens. These are very popular. I've made them before. Just the simplest little body out of core wool. And just filled in a little black eye. Really easy. Just stab it through. Then I twiddle up some of my nice red merino into a 6 thread basically. And just thread that onto a big needle. And sew on a few loops on the top of the head there for the comb. And the little front bit. I don't know what it's called. I was going to look it up. I forgot. So I just make like 3 little loops on the top and then 1 loop at the front under the chin there. Really easy. Quite quick to make. And the kids love them. Like so. And then the same technique, just rolling like a bit of the orange into a thread to make the beak out of. I just pull it out and then I pulled it down to the bottom to make little feet as well. So it looks quite cute. And again, put a little thread on. It usually comes out just right behind the head to make it dangle nicely. Then I had another idea. I got this ribbon for another project I'm planning. I thought, ooh, that's almost the right color for these little blue butterflies. So I cut out a little template from the plastic. And I'm going to cover the edge of that with some black marker. See how that works? Came out quite good. And then, because the color wasn't right, 100% right, I got another marker that had more of a lilac kind of blue. And just put some contrast on there and the outline of the wings. And then I just covered the edge, after I cut it out, covered the edge of it with glue so it doesn't fray. And I think they look quite cute. I like them, and you can get quite a lot of them onto a bit of ribbon. So I made about 14 of those, but I kept one. And my plan is to stick them onto these little pegs that I had also lying around for ages. I just make some tiny little bodies with a bit of brown and lilac mixed together. Like that. And again, thread through some thread to make little feelers. I just waxed that thread a little bit with a stick of wax to make it a bit stiffer. And then I'm just going to attach those little bodies with my favorite Yoo-hoo glue. Yoo-hoo, if you ever want to sponsor me, be my guest. Just stick that on. Tum-tum. I think they turned out really nice. If I had more Billy White ribbon, I could try different versions, of course, and maybe use some acrylic to paint on it or something. But for now, I'm just happy with those little blue ones. And I decided to stick them on a bit of card so I can wrap them up better later. So I made these little bits of card and cut a little strip out so it will fit in nicely. That's perfect for wrapping up. Well, there's a pound. I really like these. They're nice. Oh, look, my new jigsaw obsession. It really helps my ADHD brain to kind of just switch off for a little while. It's so fun. I particularly like this one. Got a beautiful, colourful motif. I was doing it with my daughter the other day, and we stayed up until 3:30 in the morning to finish it. Very fun, just chatting away with my father, drinking wine. But this is why I don't go up the street anymore, because every time I go, I come back with a big bag full of stuff. And I bumped into the postie on the way, so that was good. Let's have a quick looky what we've got here. Ooh, that's a nice one. I like them with the bright colours and lots going on. Beautiful. Oh, it's got shaped pieces as well. Nice. Let's see some. Ah, cute. Looking forward to doing that. Wild cheese. I also got another one. Not dissimilar. Just picked that up from the charity shop. Also lovely. Not going to have much time in the next couple of weeks to actually do it. Found a nice sheet for fibre. Always good to have a supply of fresh sheets when you have a big furry dog. Oh, I wasn't going to give myself any more fancy treats, but this one is good for me. So I had to get that. Oh. Always nice to have something inspirational in the vicinity. And this is wow, it's actually bigger than I thought it would be. Massive. The lovely print of the picture called The Light of the World. I think that's the original from the college by William Holman Hunt. Of Christ knocking on the overgrown door that has no handle because you have to open the door from within. We're gonna put that in my hallway, I think. Beautiful. I always wanted to learn how to paint icons, maybe one of these days. The scarf. And for another little project that I've got planned for you, I picked up this beautiful little bundle. Can't wait to get started on that. £2. Total steal for what I want to do with it. Very cool. Got a little summery skirt. Got a lot of blue tops, so that would be nice. Nice lengths as well. Nice material. And last but not least, oh, not last. Look at that, isn't it so pretty? It's got a bit of a crack in it, but just as a... I'm looking for some tissue to give it a wipe before I put anything in it. Just as a little bowl for crafts or fair or something. Like little... Quite pretty, isn't it? I like it. I got it for £1 or so because it has a crack. Yeah, I haven't done a video for a while because I've actually been painting. Done a couple of paint jobs for friends and stuff. So that's where I've been a little bit off YouTube radar. And just a little variety of bits of jewellery. That is always handy. Again, that will go with a purple seam there. These are always useful. I don't think I have shown you that properly yet, but I've got this design called moon hairs. I make these little wreaths with like special beads on them. And sometimes when I want to make a bigger version, I just don't have the... Sometimes when I want to make a bigger version of my moon hair wreath, I just haven't got the right beads. And these were just perfect. And there's 3 of them in there, so that's quite nice. Handy to have. And those little clear ones are also really useful for a lot of things. And these little yellow ones are also great. So, quite a good little haul. Back to the main event. So these are my little felt frogs, tiny little frog stuffies, and I like to make them with 2 different colors. There's a little template on the top there, and I think because they're quite small and turtly, so they don't get lost, I'm going to sit them on a little water lily leaf just so the kids don't lose them immediately. So you just cut out, there's a template up there, very simple. Just cut them out twice and then just stitch them together with an overstitch. Almost all the way around, just leave a little hole at the bottom so you can stuff it. And I usually stuff them quite firmly, but gently. Works very well with a little pair of scissors. But don't poke yourself. And then you just sew up the rest. And then I like to define the shape a bit more by pinching in a little bit at the back there. And actually with the bigger ones, I just wrap the thread around the legs, like that, to define them a bit more. But with the smaller ones, I kind of just stitch it in a little bit. And then for the eyes, I've got these little holographic beads. And I think they go really well with it. And here comes our last little idea for today. I'm gonna just roll up a bit of red. Start stabbing it into a little half ball shape. I think $3.50 is a decent price for a tiny little hand. Then add a bit of black, and you can probably guess what it's going to be by now. A little ladybug. Had to be in there somewhere. Just filled out some little dots. And I use my nice thick wax thread to put on some feelers. And kind of correct the shape a little bit, make sure it's nice and compact and looks cute. And then I'm just gonna glue this nice big paper clip to the back of it and secure it with a bit of felt. And that is going to turn it into a little bookmark. And there we go. 10 little ideas that you can make and use for various little occasions. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like and subscribe if you're not already. And I shall probably see you again after the little mini Mayfair with some more videos. Take care. Bye.